Okay, good morning and welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, March 12th. I am Commissioner Sean Flowerday, Chair of the County Board. With me is Vice Chair Rick Best and Commissioner Krista Yoakum. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I've never said that pledge. Got all tongue-tied.
Me too. Okay.
Location announcement of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. Copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located at the wall of the rear of the hearing room. All written materials to be discussed at today's open meeting is available for electronic viewing from the county clerk's staff. Printing options are available upon request. These materials can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Brings us to our first item, minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on March 5th, 2024.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item is claims. 2A, approval of the claims processed through March 12th, 2024. And I'll note for commissioners, there is an amendment for payroll.
I would move approval of the claims process through March 12, 2024, and amend it to include payroll disbursements through March 6th, 2024.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Please call the roll.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Next up is 2B, approval of claims, including billing for goods and services beyond the 90-day time period provided in Nebraska Revised Statute, Chapter 23-135 for AP Electrical Solutions, LLC, dated March 11th, 2024, for a total of $325. Crew Line Exteriors, LLC, dated March 11th, 2024, for a total of $7,250. And the Southeast Nebraska Development District, dated March 11th, 2024, for a total of $3,641.
Move approval of these claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson, Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to our consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner, by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there is an exception, these items will be approved as one single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are the approval of right-of-way contracts with the following: Mark T. Enterprises, LLC, First Street and Bracken Road, in the amount of $280. Herbert Eiler's Family Irrevocable Trust, Pella Road and South 54th Street, in the amount of $1,305. Arlen A. and Judith A. Wool, Southwest 128th Street and West Panama Road, in the amount of $154. Terry and Julie Reitz, Southwest 142nd Street and West Stagecoach Road, in the amount of $2,951. Gary and Carla Renner, West Princeton Road and Southwest 128th Street, in the amount of $1,749. And B, receive and place on file the following reports for February 2024: the Assessor Register of Deeds, Clerk of the District Court, Records and Information Management, and the County Clerk.
Move approval of the consent items.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to item 4, new business. Item 4A, a resolution setting a public hearing regarding the vacation of certain portions of right-of-way north of the intersection of West Prucha Street and Southwest 112th Street, Crete, Nebraska, more particularly described in Exhibit A and located in Lancaster County, Nebraska.
Good morning. John Berry, Lancaster County Engineering. We'll wait for a second here. This is a request to vacate an alley in the village of Kramer. It's kind of next to the one that we vacated last year. All the existing property owners did petition this, so they have signed this petition. So this is just setting up the hearing for this vacation. It's shown here in yellow. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, everyone around it.
Everyone
signed
around there
on.
signed off on it,
Okay.
correct?
Yeah, I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to item 4B, a contract with Straight Line Stripping Incorporated to provide pavement markings. The cost of the county is not to exceed $155,092.50.
Lancaster County Engineer Pam Dingman. The exhibit that I've placed on the overhead shows the areas which we intend to do pavement marking. We try to rotate, so we're doing it every other year. In addition to that, we use a marking that has reflective beads in it so that it's easier for people to see at night and when it's raining.
I move approval.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Item 4C, a recommendation from the purchasing agent on behalf of county engineering to award a bid to Highway Improvement Incorporated for crack sealing for 2024 in the amount not to exceed $310,054.
Lancaster County Engineer Pam Dingman. The exhibit that I've placed on the overhead shows the areas in which we will be doing contract crack sealing. As the commissioners are aware, we've been extremely aggressive with the maintenance of our asphalt slabs, mainly because once they get cracks and they start getting water underneath, you just have continual damage to the slab, even if you overlay it in the future. And so we're doing everything we can to preserve these slabs and to make sure that they stay dry underneath.
I move approval.
Yeah, I would second. Pam, what's the rotation on crack sealing? How frequently do we have to do that?
So we crack seal every year. In addition to the contract crack sealing, we have our own crack sealing machines. And again, we aggressively go out and fill these cracks. Where we're at with it is we don't necessarily rotate. We're addressing wherever we have cracks in the pavement.
Oh, great.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to item 4D, the appointment of Todd Ogden to the Visitors Promotion Committee for a term from July 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2028.
I move approval.
I second, and we're very pleased to have Todd join this committee. It's an important committee that promotes tourism within Lincoln and Lancaster County and helps bring people into our community.
And Mr. Ogden apologizes he couldn't be with us today. He is more than happy to come in and talk to the board if anyone wants to speak with him. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to item 4E, the license agreement with the Airport Authority of the City of Lincoln for the county sheriff to use a portion of Airport Authority for law enforcement training.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Moore, Deputy Lancaster County Attorney with the County Attorney's Office. This agreement is for the County Sheriff's Office to use a portion of the air park facility and a ramp nearby it for emergency driving courses. We've been doing this for a number of years. This is just the first time we've had a written agreement.
Great.
I would move approval.
I would second and extend my appreciation to the our friends at the Airport Authority for allowing the Sheriff's Department to do this training there.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to 4F, agreement with Kate Speck, PhD, to provide motivational interviewing for county corrections employees. The cost of the county shall not exceed $3,100.
I'd move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 4G, an agreement with Encore to provide audio equipment for use by the county at the Employee Recognition Breakfast on May 14th, 2024. The cost of the county is $420.35.
Move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries. Brings us to 4H, request in the amount of $1,633,365 for the Joint Budget Committee and $650,000 for juvenile justice prevention funding for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Good morning, Sarah Hoyle, Director of Human Services for the City of Lincoln and Lancaster County. And this funding is not new funding per se, and the timing of it is this way because of grant reviews and the city budget. So that's kind of how it's in on this time and not during any other type of budget hearing or whatever else. Again, Joint Budget Committee funding is city funding, county funding combined. It augments services that the city, county predominantly, are statutorily obligated to provide in the form of rent assistance, utility assistance, assistance with food, so forth. And then the juvenile justice prevention funding, that funding helps us bring in more funding to the county because we have to show match when we're applying for different grants. So this particular funding is used by nonprofit entities to show match that the county is putting forward to these types of services. So.
This represents an increase in total of $300,000, right?
Correct.
It's
Yep.
a $50,000 increase, sort of a cost of doing business increase to the Joint Budget Committee, and then a $250 increase to the Juvenile Justice Prevention Funding, because we have to actually increase that very much in recent years, and so.
Certainly see the value of doing that funding, so I would move approval.
Yeah, I would second, and I know we've set up here and approved numerous grants that come into our community to help programs in the Juvenile Justice Prevention Fund, so money invested for money returned there. I
Right.
second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Commissioners, next item is item 5, the legislative update.
Anyone have anything for the legislative update? Yeah, I don't think I have anything at the moment. We've just, the legislature's discussing the budget this morning. I think the legislative update covers federal legislative issues, doesn't it?
I would assume. It's legislative.
I'm just pretty happy with the announcements that of the federal dollars that are coming into the community. We're going to have a press release later today, I think, regarding the Fletcher Avenue funding, and I'm very, very pleased with what's come out of that. So, and pretty happy with the not Bermuda group that we have hired. What's their name now?
It is Bermuda.
It is Bermuda.
That is the name. the new
Okay.
name.
What
It
was
used
the-
to be.
It used to be Signal.
That was it. It was Signal. I was thinking, okay, it went the reverse way. Anyway, so I'm just pleased with that contract and pleased with what's come out of it so far.
That Fletcher Avenue, Pam brought that to my attention when I was running the first time in 2018, and so just all the pieces that came together to get that done, it's very gratifying to see.
Yeah, no, I'm thankful to the whole team that's worked on that. So, okay, that was all I had. I think we can move to public comment.
Public comment. Those wishing to speak in items related to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Robert Bohr, Lancaster County, We the People, Concerned Citizen. The following is a true story. A friend in another county sent me her letter she wrote to her county commissioners expressing concern over the way their elections were being conducted. One of the commissioners responded and said, if you have evidence of election fraud, send it to the Secretary of State's office. She forwarded the letter to me for advice. I wrote back and said, if it were me, this is how I would respond. Commissioner, and what if the Secretary's office is helping facilitate the fraud? They are already forcing these expensive computerized secret vote count tabulators on counties that can't afford them in violation of the law. Elections are a county matter. The cost of elections by law is supposed to be a county expense. You took an oath to our Constitution. That Constitution says up front in Article 1, Section 1, that the role of government is to secure the God-given, inherent, and inalienable rights of the people. The first and foremost right of the people is to institute a government of public servants of their choosing through their consent. Verifiable consent, I might add. Are you telling me your oath means nothing? That you intend to defend the Secretary's office over and against our Constitution and the right of the people of the county to exercise their elective franchise in a way that ensures honest and verifiable results? It is not incumbent upon us to provide evidence or proof of fraud. It is incumbent upon you to ensure the integrity of our elections and to provide proof of the same. Nothing less. It is our right, it is the right of the people to demand and expect transparency in our elective franchise. If overthrowing a legitimate government is treason, then overthrowing / undermining / subverting the consent by which that government is supposed to be instituted, whether intentionally or by lack of due diligence is also treason. The Secretary's office refuses to give us access to simple tabulator, cast vote record self-audit data. This refusal to be transparent is prima facie evidence they are hiding something. That something must be assumed to be fraud. You are our line of defense against state-level corruption. We're still talking to this commissioner, by the way. You are our line of defense against state-level corruption. There is nothing illegal about conducting manual, transparent, verifiable tallies of all legitimate votes. I'll read it again. You are our line of defense against state-level corruption. There is nothing illegal about conducting manual, transparent, verifiable tallies of all legitimate votes. Please confirm your intent. Is it to keep your oath or to betray it? That was the end of my letter, or my advice on a letter. I could ask all of you the same question. Is it your intent to keep your oath or to betray it? I already know the answer. At any rate, I then proceeded to send this very letter to our SOS office, with copies going to every member of our legislature and every county election office in the state, with the following subject line: a short story about the election fraud cabal / kleptocracy. I included this postscript. The election fraud cabal that our SOS office is a member of and has conned our legislature and county election officials or offices into supporting is going to suffer a deadly blow in terms of law and public sentiment in the weeks to come, starting with a U.S. Supreme Court case later this week. It is the duty of all citizens to hold a so-called government that is hostile to simple transparency accountable.
there any other members of the public wishing to speak? Seeing none.
Commissioners, that brings us to announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, March 14th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, March 19th, 2024 at 9 a.m. with the Board of Equalization immediately following in room 112 of the County City Building. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on LNK TV. LNK TV is available on Allo Channel 2 and Spectrum Channel 1300. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Lincoln LNK TV apps are also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Last item I have is adjournment.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries. We're adjourned.